Welcome to ECNTRADE Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration.
Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you for joining me. The US dollar, which measures the greenback strength against a basket of 6 major currencies, has declined further on Monday. Reaching a high on Friday of 93.79, the US dollar index has now staged a fall to around about 70 pips, which has therefore put a little bit of stress on some of the other currencies. Still, we may have broken slightly down on the RSI. The MACD is still hanging in there to a weak positive signal. While we look at the euro, the market has actually progressed further towards this trend line. Seen around, that is at 117.80.95. I do anticipate a bearish response from this region. I've allowed a little bit of slippage above this trend line, but nevertheless, the market isn't showing a full broad breakout, that is, and therefore I feel that the market is just showing a little bit of short covering in front of the anticipated US Federal Reserve meeting at the Jackson Hole Symposium in Wyoming, which is expected to possibly show some market moving events because of the central bankers could detail their plans for tapering monetary stimulus. That is, the US Federal Reserve has started discussions to pull back its $120 billion a month bond buying program, and that is by the end of the year. The summit takes place virtually on Thursday, while the US Federal Reserve will give a speech on Friday. Meanwhile, elsewhere, US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen endorsed Jerome Powell for a second term as Fed chairman, a move that could reduce uncertainty about the path for monetary policy. So let's see how the market plays in the upcoming events of the Jackson Hole Summit, and that is we could see this short squeeze before the turnaround. This is also seeing the Australian dollar rebound out of the oversold zone and actually showing a little bit more upward bias. But as you can see above the midway, it's always failed over the period of since late July. So therefore, I'm not getting overly confident on this rise, but I will say that the short covering can squeeze some of the short positions out and therefore see a rise up to 72, 60, 65 and reassess from there, and then maybe a turnaround. Do note, though, if we see a break, that is, on the downside of 171.80, would reinstate the target of 71.25 or maybe lower. Looking at the dollar yen, the market is showing a little bit more of an upstep from the RSI and also from the MACD. Therefore, could see a repeat of the recent price action towards that top side seen at 110.15 area. I do anticipate the bears will respond again like previously of the two rejections. So no doubt, let's see if the market plays the same pattern and looks back towards that bottom side of the range around 108.55. Sterling a little bit stronger than some of its other counterparties and recaptures the 137 handle. The RSI, though, is showing a bit of stress as it breaks just above that midway point. So therefore, I'm giving little doubt of an extension beyond 137.45 with a cap to around 138.20 and eventually see a down test back to 135.50 to 80. This would mean that the recent rally or the rebound from 149.2025 in sterling yen likely to fail as it gets closer towards the region of 151.70 and no doubt see this pressure revert back to the support and I believe lower, not at 149 but around 148.80. Wrapping up with gold and oil, well, the market surged to the top side and hit a wall of resistance around 1,806. At the moment, though, it seems to be capped from there, and therefore could see the bears increase their numbers and maybe overthrow this bullish challenge. But let's see if the dollar index first can recover. As I mentioned, it has buckled slightly, but if we do see a break above 1,808, would reinstate the upside to 1,830. But at this stage, looks like we've seen a bit of challenge in here. The RSI is a little bit high in terms of how strong this market's movement is, but I would say let's see where we close tomorrow. Above 08 would give further indication to the upside. a good surge in oil and breaks this short-term trend and now gives further positive signs that we could see a move further. That is, after the Food and Drug Administration granted full approval for the second dose of the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine. This has given a little bit of leeway, that is, in terms of the bearish case, and the market's bulls have come back comfortably and now looking up towards 67.5 a barrel and reassess from this line here. Well, that wraps it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and as always, look out for the intraday report. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.